Going live. All right. Let me see. Hello, everyone. We are live. Welcome, Breakfast with Max. Live. All right. Oh, what is that? Okay, this one. Welcome. I'm very happy to be here with you. Thank you for joining. Whenever in time you're joining, it's already now. It's always now. So your energy is already here. You are co-creating already this moment. Right. So yes, let me just do this. What is that? Ooh. Yes. Let me see. Zach, can you? No. All right. Well, these things are really very. Yeah, I am. I am live. Yeah, I'm live. Oh, all right. Yeah, I am. So I'm. Yes. It's been a week since my last live, and I have to say it has been a full week with a lot of things happening. Well, in this moment, I think for many people, a lot of things are happening. Um, yes, but it's all good. It's all amazing, right? Evolving and discovering the self and going through many things, but that's part of the game. And I think that as long as we are doing what is ourselves, working on ourselves and doing right self discovering and all that stuff, I think that it's always good. What's that? Ooh. And so yeah, it's a privilege to be connected with everyone, and I say privilege in the sense that not everyone is really following their passion, right? Or understanding their passion, because there are people that I have absolutely no clue of anything, but they are still doing their passion, right? So you don't have to be in any awakening or ascension state, consciousness or whatever to be working in right, doing your passion. But many are right. There are many people that have no clue about their passions, or they believe that they are not allowed to do anything that they're passionate in, because they are lacking in lack, and so they are far away from that. So yes, I'm very happy to do this and to connect with you and to exchange with you, and that you are here. I really am, because it's a privilege. It's a privilege, and right, we are connecting, and that is so beautiful. So I wanted today I wanted to go and dig into something, because something so yesterday something happened to me. I had to go for an appointment with my unemployment counselor. Yeah. And so I noticed that I was kind of scared, or I was a little bit panicking about that beforehand. And so I had to dig into it to understand why was I getting into that state, and why was that happening? Because, right, it's a structure of power. It's a structure that comes from the government, from the administration, and the law, and uh, and so I realized that I've seen myself being taken in that structure of power. So seeing that structure as something above me, right? And it took me by surprise yesterday. I really by surprise, not by surprise, but I was there, and I said, "Oh, I'm okay, good," because comes the moment where you cannot hide from yourself. Whatever you're going through, you know that there is something. And so I saw myself, I realized my belief system, I realized what is still there. Because right now I'm going through all of those things, and my knowledge of things, what I know, and then I realize, okay, this is what is happening. Why am I validating that? Why am I seeing this structure of governmental power so strong? So I had to turn that around, meaning I had to accept that, and then I had to center myself and go through it as realigning myself in my power, right? And so then when I had the meeting, and I went through the meeting, I realized that I was able to do that because if the meeting started with someone that was absolutely cold, well, it's administration. They see a lot of people, and right, they don't care. Why should they care? They don't. They see so many people. But in the end, I've seen that the position this person had completely changed. If in the beginning, so I was exposing a problem that I have with, and in the beginning it was, well, it's your word against the word of them. In the end of the meeting, it was, yeah, but they lie about you. So he changed his position, right? So I saw that, and that was accomplished without any intention. But that's even not the question. It was that I changed my relationship with that meeting, with the structure, with the power, and I took back. Right? I mean, I took back. It means that I gave something, but you never give away your power. But I was not sure of my power. I was not, right. I was still externalizing as I was facing administration, right? A external, what is perceived to be a external power, and so I took that back. Stop seeing that as external and stop seeing that as superior, or as assigning anything to that, except the fact that, well, it belongs to me, right? And that goes back to belief systems, right? The externalization of reality and the belief system and the structure of power. We have cornered ourselves into externalization, and especially externalization of power, seeing these structures as above us, as something that govern us. And I found myself yesterday there and realizing how that belief is strong, and how we submit to it. It's an act of submission that comes one side from the expectation that this external thing will take care of our problems, right? But at the same moment, I realized, right, we created what is social security. But at the same moment, the social security that we created to help ourselves when we have a moment where we need that comes with the shame, the guilt of using it. Especially here in my country, someone that uses the unemployment, they are shamed. And I think that is not especially here, it's everywhere. As we have externalized these things so much that we relate to the idea that someone else is paying for it. So we are taking from that someone else, right? We are profiting from it, profiting from someone else. No, we are not. But this, right? It's going through these beliefs, and I had to remind myself that there is nothing outside of me, and that I am creating. This structure exists because I allow it to exist. It doesn't exist because it's existing. The government, social security, all of that stuff exists because I allow it to exist, not because someone created it. I'm attracting it. I'm creating it. It's part of my creation from the moment that it is there in the moment for me. I created. So I was again going into externalizing reality, right? The belief that is external, the belief that someone is giving money for that. No one is giving money for that. Meaning, no one is giving money for me. No one. But these things are really, really a pain in the ass because we externalize reality. And that's what I was doing up until the moment to realize it. And I said, well, now just stop that. Stop. It's not external. They are not superior to you, and they don't hold power over you. That's a structure you are attracting for you. So I really had to let go of all of that guilt, of all of that belief, or all of that thing that is there for me, and for anyone that is using it, right? We are having those things in our reality. We are attracting it. It's the structure of, right? It's our reality. It's our abundance. But as we create our abundance with that, giving ourselves these ways of abundance, at the same time, we have to shame ourselves for having those things. Because, well, you're doing nothing for that. Right? It's, do you deserve it? And as we are lackful, absolutely lackful, then we are not deserving of what is there for us. So we shame ourselves for what is not shameful. If it's there for you, it's because you put it there for you. You put it there for you. No one else is giving you anything. The fuck with that. But then you see, as I was saying, going through all of these things and going into the truth of what I am and what I perceive, what I know, and looking into myself, well, if something is happening like this, I have to go and dig deep into it, because I want to know, I want to understand, right? Because it's there. I'm seeing myself, and so the truth comes to me, right? I cannot. I'm not allowing myself to lie to myself, and so I just expose these things to the self, and so I didn't run away from it. And this is really a questioning of power. All of these structures that are out there, they don't exist until you say they exist. But then it means that if they exist, it's because you want them to exist, so you are using them when you need them in your reality. So I realize, what can be wrong? What can go wrong as when you realize that this is your reality, and therefore you are creating it? And that goes into our belief that, right, external, so power, external, we don't see creation as belonging to us. That's why we are externalizing it. And so by doing that, we believe that someone owns anything, right? And we don't see creation as our abundance, as our wealth, as belonging to us. But literally, what is in my reality is created by me. I know interpretation, all of that, all right, but still, I am the one interpreting vibration, interpreting energy to have this reality created for myself. I'm not creating what is there for you, your reality, what you are doing right there. I'm not creating it for you. You are creating it. When you watch this video, when you read a book, when you watch TV, a movie, or whatever, you are creating it. You're creating that moment. So that moment belongs to you. You're attracting it. So whatever you are seeing on this video, I don't know. I have no idea what comes to you. Why? Because you are attracting this for yourself. So you are doing it for yourself. And this, I'm doing it for myself. So you see that's where we can start to understand this is for me. That's government, that's do all that is administration, social security. That does it exist for others? Of course, other people are attracting that, are using that in their reality, so they are interpreting it, they are attracting for themselves, right? But that's in their reality, not in mine. The way it is in your reality, I have no idea. I know how it is in mine. But that's right. That's the thing, is that what I attract for me, what you attract for you, is for you. It wouldn't be there if it wasn't for you, right? What is in your reality is for you. You're attracting it because you choose to attract it. Then your relationship with it, with whatever that may be, Well, that's what you are experiencing. If you put yourself as inferior to, obviously you will have a experience as inferior to. If you have an idea, if you value yourself, if you have worth, and that you know or have awareness of you, your experience will be different. But that's a choice. That's your choice, right? To have that experience in a certain way or another way, related to your belief system, related to the way you attract your experience, because their experience will be filtered through your beliefs. So, but this goes through all the things that we are taught, that right becomes that become my that have become my belief system, and that become your belief system, in the sense that the relationship that I have with the authority, the government, administration, all those things, has something that has been built through the years, and that right comes from my memory of those things. And so that has built this relationship and experiences. And as I was going there, I had in my head my previous experiences that were very strongly there. So I was seeing those experiences, and I was confusing myself, right? I was bringing myself in believing that those experiences had any weight in this experience, in what is happening right now. So I had to let go of that. I had to let go of my memories. Say that's something that's not now. And right, that is one of the things that we are I tend but right we tend to do, is that we tend to do this. We had already an experience that is similar, and whatever happened in that experience, we tend to take that experience, and we want and we think the new experience that we are now doing is the same thing, has to be the same thing. Whereas no, only if you hold yourself into that energy, you will have the same thing. But this experience, this new experience, doesn't have to go through that memory, right? So that's where, right, the use of memory, the letting go of your memory, and to be in the moment and allow the moment to happen as something new, with no attachment to any memory, to any past, to anything that is not now. Right? We have these things where we say, oh, we have to learn from history. Those that don't know history are doomed to repeat, right? To repeat it, to repeat the mistakes. Hell no. Bullshit. I call bullshit on it. No, that's not absolutely not true, because there is no history. There is no history. Yes, we have the memory, but that's what it is. And the memory is created in the moment. It changes all the time. I was reading yesterday that there are people that exist that have a memory of every second of their lives. Well, even that changes, because you cannot, right? You don't know, or right? You can. Well, it's not. But we are not stable. Memory changes. There are things that I know that I remember in a different way. I know that I change my memory. So that there are things that I even remember in different ways. I listen to um, books, so audible books. Sometimes books that I have already read. They are different. I know they are different. And if I want to go into it, I could have, well, I could have say, oh, my memory of what of when I read the first time the book are not, are flow, are wrong. No, the book is, it's the way I'm reading it now. No, no. Right, it's easy to invalidate my memory of right, of saying, oh, the book was not like that, the book is only like the, right, but I know that it changed. It changed because I changed. So why the book won't change? It's a new book, right? So the memory changes, the book change, the movie change, the video change, everything changes. However, if I hold on the memory, or if I hold on anything, I will not see the difference. That's what happens for the most of the time, is that we change our memory, but we are unaware of it because we do not allow ourselves to see the difference. We believe that, oh, this is what happened. So when the memory changes, everything changes. And so we forget our previous memory, right? So when I, right, so when I go and I dig into these things, if I hold on the memory, or if I deny the change, if I, obviously then, well, okay, all right, whatever. However, now I see those changes. I understand that things change. So I change, my memory change. And so I have to allow for that, and therefore everything that is in the memory cannot be stated as history or as something that, so when they say that we need to know history in order not to repeat it, it's bullshit. And remember, history is going through what? Is using time. Now, as human beings, yes, we create time. We create time to have what we call a timeline and have the memories and all of that. And we go through that, right? We have that. That is our human side that is relating to that. However, there is only now. What we perceive as being time, so the timeline, is a addition of moments, moment after moment after moment, but it's not after. That's the point. It's always now. So all of those moments that are put together to create your life, they all happened now. So in this now, I mean, not in this now, all of history is happening at the same moment. It means that Jesus is right now. It means that the Roman Empire, it's now. All of those, Atlantis is now, right? All of that is happening now. In order to see the Roman Empire, I have to change now, and it's there. If I want to go to Atlantis, I don't have to travel through time. I have to change now, and I am in Atlantis. So, um, so that I cannot learn from history because there is no history. Literally, there is no history except memory. And memory is a construct that come from what? It's literally the construct that I'm doing now, picking the moments that are relevant to me. And to be honest, how many of those moments do I remember? Not very much. And one of the things that I like to say about that is that if time existed, we will have the memory of all of our life. It's impossible not to remember everything if time exists. But as we are not in time, but we are building this through moment after moment after moment after moment that we put together to create our memory, well, it's obvious we do not remember all of that because we are only giving us the memory of what we need in the moment, right? It's that construct that we have. And doesn't mean it's not real because those memories come from moment that we experience. The experience is there. Those moments do exist, right? They are real, but they are not in the past. They are now. That's right. That's what is triggering us because we literally have, it's the same thing, we literally have to let go of belief systems that are related to time, right? And that is why when I had to experience this meeting with the unemployment counselor, and I have the memories of past experiences, so I have a memory of what that is. And at the same moment, I know that, right, I have all this knowledge of how things are done. But at the same moment, I have belief systems. So I have to go through those things. I have to see my belief systems, accept them, but at the same moment, let go. I have to see those things. And what I am doing is that I am killing myself. I am killing that self that believes those things. I am letting go of that. And it's like dying. So obviously, last night I was very tired yesterday because I'm going through this process. I'm killing myself. And when I say killing is simply right, it's that self, it's gone. I'm not holding that self anymore. And so I'm doing that a lot lately, going through belief system after belief system after belief system, going through self after self after self, right? Seeing those things, realizing themselves, accepting those things, and then letting go of them because they are not me anymore, right? I've evolved the self into something different, into something new. And it's heavy only because there are so many belief systems. There are so many things I was going through, and that's why I put power and religion together because the structure of power and religion is exactly the same things. We call those things differently, but religion is power. It's about power. Religion has been, especially the main religions, they have been created for power. It's a creation of power. It's not a creation of spirituality, because they base on they are based on power, but it's not openly said. It's not openly um, perceived. But they do operate in a way that is similar, and with with a structure of belief system that is similar. um, and and so I was absolutely seeing myself there, and just say, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I here so concerned about this? And that's when now the allowance and the acceptance and the fact, right, then to listen to the self, and you receive answers. Right, I answer my calling, so I had the answer there. Right, you are putting this structure over you in this moment. You are using your belief systems to put them over you, and this is creating in you a contrast between what you are becoming and that memory. And so I was struggling, and it cost me a lot of energy until I just released that, right? Release those belief system of having still something above me. It's not above me. No one is above me. Anything is above me. And I was realizing, right, what we do with that. We really we see these structures as existing outside of us and holding power. Well, they don't. They don't hold power. We may lend that power to them, but they don't hold it, because it's a lending that the instant, the moment you say, well, I do not validate you, I do not give you that power because you are not over me. And think about this. And this is part of what this is. Think about this. We create governments. We create, right? We pay taxes. We have administration, social security, and all of that. We have a government. We have laws. And what do we do with that? We use that to punish ourselves. If you're late with your tax return, you're punished. And if you are still late and over late and everything, what do? It becomes even worse. And etc., right? We are using those structure to punish ourselves. How is it that something that exists only because we allow it to exist? It's allowance. There is no country that exists until I say it exists. The same for you. There is no government that exists until I say they exist. Right? The structure of what we see the world is, it's not real. It doesn't exist until I validate it, until you validate it. Right? So a government, our country government structure, where we have the United States, Switzerland, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, Japan, etc., that only exists because it is allowed to exist, not because it exists, right? So any power that we give to that is because we are lending that power. But these structures do not have a personality, do not have anything external of us. It's inside of us, not outside of us. So the idea that that structure that I allow to exist punishes me, right? It punishes. How comes it? Well, lack, unworthiness, right? All of those things, right? Because it comes back to what? It comes back to me, to you. It's the self. It's the self doing it, right? Based on a belief system. So but nevertheless, it remains the question is that this structure is created for us. We create it, we allow it to exist for ourselves. So how come that I allow that to punish me? Because I am late with something, they ask me to pay a fine. Are you fucking kidding me? If I'm late, I'm late, and I'm even not late because I'm doing it when I choose to do it. But I'm not belief system, time, I'm late. I'm not late. But in the belief that we have, I'm late, right? But nevertheless, even if I am late, how fucking dare you punishing me? I'm punishing myself. Why? Because I'm shaming myself, because I am unworthy, because I am not respecting the law. What fucking law? No law exists. Really? None. But my belief system says that it exists, that it's validated. So I'm not respecting that. And so I'm unworthy, and I deserve to be punished. Because it's always the self, punishing the self. There is no one that can punish me, right? It comes back to the self, always. So it's not them, it's always the self. Woo! So it will be very easy to just lash out to those structure and say that it's them, they're horrible or anything. Honesty, right, and reality and everything, it pushes me to remind it's always the self. So I have to go back to remind myself that it's me, and I have to go back into my power. So taking that back, and it's not an act against the structure, right? We validate the structure, so they exist. We are attracting them, and so in the moment that we are using them, they are there. However, I have to go back into bringing that back and reminding myself I am creating those things, right? So they are there for me, not against me. They are there for me. Because I have understood that I am only attracted what I want to be in my reality. So if it's there in my reality, it's because I am attracting it, and it's because I'm using it for myself. So I'm participating in, but that's not lending my power. My view was I'm giving power. I'm giving my power so that, right, the structure exists. Now I shifted that because I understand that, right, I'm not giving power away. I may be lending it, but even that, my power belongs to me. And remember, when I talk about power, I'm not talking about what human beings have stated as being power. It's not electricity, and it's not anything that has to do with right political power, army power, none of the abuse of power, right? I am talking about the power that we all have, which is equal for all of us. It's the I am, right? It's that what I am, and that power doesn't manifest in any way. There is no boom. There is no extraordinary. There is no whatever we imagine power may be. It's a state of being. It's what we are. It's I am. And that cannot be explained. It's something that we are. So, bringing that back to that, I realize that what is in my reality, what is that I attract, it's because I want to attract it. What is created, right? What I'm experiencing, I am creating it. Therefore, I want to have it in my reality. What is here because I am wanting it, because I decide to have it. So anything else is resistance, it's denial. So I go into acceptance. So I realize that if I have anything to do with any structure of administration of power, of anything of that is there, that I am attracting it, is because I need it in that moment, in the reality, right? In what I'm doing, that is there for me to use, for me to experience. So if I go into allowance and if I go into acceptance of reality, well, I accept it and I have the experience. When I let go of the resistance, then my experience will be a flow of acceptance. My experience will be a experience from my point of view of power, from my power. And again, I'm not having that experience, right? This is important to understand. When I was having my experience in that office with this unemployment person, I was not there feeling superior to that person, right? I was having my experience. I was there in my power as equal, as understanding that that is co-creation, and so that experience is there for me to be had, to be having, right? To be there. But that doesn't give me any superiority. And this is, and I want to really to emphasize that it's not about superiority. It's not about being better. It's not because I'm aware that I am better of anyone else. I am simply allowing myself to have the experience from a point of view of creator, right? Remembering, being, right? A state of being. I am here having this experience, which is a experience which instantly goes in my memory, because I am having a memory. That's what I am living, a memory. So that when you realize that what is there, what is your experience is there because you choose to have that, to let that happen. The structure of power then disappears, and you are not in a human structure anymore. You are in a moment. You are in a experience. That's what changed. That's why the dynamic of that experience changed. But you see, these are things that I am going through so that I can understand them. I can understand the dynamic. I can see how it is easy to fall into memory structure and confusion and not externalization of reality, because that's what we have learned. That's what we have put ourselves into for so long. We are externalizing. We are seeing everything as external, as outside of us, which is lack, which is loss of power. I'm saying that something that is outside of me has power over me. Oh, gosh. But that's what we have been told, right? We have been told that. It's not that. It's our second nature now to externalize. So we're not going to understand reality is inside just like that. It's experiential. We need to have that discovery of the self. We have to go through the experience of being there, panicking or resisting something, to finally see, oh, that's me. I'm doing that. To have the experience of power and realize, oh, I'm giving them power. I'm lending them that power. What happens when I stop doing it? Well, there is only one way to know. It's to stop doing that. Right? But our second nature or our belief is to just do that. So it's seeing those things and then realizing the belief system that is sustaining that, and realizing the self that is doing that, so that you stop. And how does that go with religion? I was listening, watching videos about Scientology and people that have left that structure. And there is something that I found very interesting. It's when in a interview in a podcast with Seth Rogen and Leah Remini, she was talking about how being in Scientology for so long, she lost some. She was obliged all the time into being in it, and so she couldn't have people outside of that cult, and that other religions do not do that. And Rogan was saying, well, that's not correct, actually. And I like that exchange, because it was showing what he believes is someone that has an experience with a cult, and suddenly she's out of there and she says, well, I know this, and I think that no one else is doing that so badly. and and that's amazing. I thought, wow, that's crazy. That's fantastic to have that, right? Because then I realized, well, what is my experience with Christianity, with Catholicism? And I realized that in fact there is no real difference from what is the experience that she's telling about and the experience that you can have in any other religion, because in the end of the day they are using exactly the same stuff. Do you see that religions, so Christianity or any other religion actually, they indoctrinate children? That's indoctrination, right? Why do you need to take children and to indoctrinate when they were born if you are not indoctrinating them in order to keep them in your faith, in your religion? Otherwise, you will wait until they can choose by themselves. But you're not waiting, you are doing it when they were born. So that there, there you are, the structure of power, and no one is questioning that, right? Because that's how everyone is told things are. You have to save the soul of children as soon as they were born, because if you don't and they die, they go to hell, right? So you see the belief systems that are in that. How can you resist that? How can you say that's not true? You don't know. You just believe that. And it goes into belief, right? The belief system. You believe, you believe, you believe. And I realized, okay, when it comes to that, I have so many people saying, oh, I need proofs. When someone tells me something, I need proofs. And so I'm there and I realize, okay, you want proofs? So tell me, do you believe in God? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in those things that you have been told, that you learned, but actually there no one ever proved anything to you? Because it's a belief, right? And there are many people that ask for proofs, and at the same moment they believe in a religion, so believe in a God or believe in anything like that. And so I say, how fucking dare you to come and ask proofs when you believe in a God that gave you absolutely no proofs whatsoever? How dare you come to ask any proofs when you have belief systems that are based on things that you have heard, that you have been told, but you have no proofs of those things, because there are no proofs whatsoever. And it doesn't have to be about God, right? It can be something other stuff. But people have beliefs that they cannot prove. There are no proofs. And those beliefs do not come from a knowing, they come from what? They come from learned. Someone told, right? And then However, they ask for proofs. Say, how? Okay, well, that's a choice, obviously, but then I'm saying, well, how dare you? How dare you to ask for proofs when you have belief systems that are based on nothing? Your belief systems. And so, right? And that's the base of religion. They're based on nothing. And they keep holding on and keep going, but they are based on no proofs whatsoever. The proofs that they have, right? What they present of are always based on what one tells to another. They're not based on anything else. So one has at that point to allow to what? To allow to the fact that in this reality, nothing is proven. How can I prove anything? I can't. I literally cannot prove anything. The proof that is meant here, right? I can prove, I can prove things, right? But not the proof that is required, where you say, oh, this is the proof, because you have something that becomes a truth, right? No, that proof doesn't exist for anything, and everything can be disproven, right? Because for any science or for anything that is proving anything, well, you have the opposite. Why? Because that's duality. We create that. That's how this works. You have nothing that is based on anything that is truth, except what you perceive as your belief system. So, right? That's where when it comes to religion and anything else, well, because so many things become what? Religion. Money is a religion, or I should say cult. That's for me, but right, I'm here doing what? Expressing my what I believe, what I perceive, so that remains like that. So not trying to change anything, right? Anyone that has their own beliefs, good. But Christianity is a cult. It's a cult. There are no real, and there is this idea of absolute truth, right? That goes around saying that there is a truth that maybe we do not know, but we can discover because it's out there somewhere, right? Well, no, there isn't that truth. And certainly that truth is not expressed by any religion. Why? Because if that truth was expressed by any religion, we will have right now, all of us, that religion. There is no way that the moment that the absolute truth is given to us, that the absolute truth is not overtaking everyone. But we don't have that. And that's the problem of every religion, right? The fact that, first of all, the problem of every religion is that any other religion exists, because the fact that any other religion exists is proof of what? That they are not telling the truth, that they are not the absolute truth. Because if they had the absolute truth, everyone will have that religion as their religion, but they are not, because other religions are existing. So as long as so many religions are existing, well, we know what? That we don't have that absolute truth. But then A religion is doing that. What? A religion is giving identities to many people. They're giving them belief systems and they're giving them identity. So they identify with that religion, with that belief system, so that they can hold something. And then there is what? There is the fact that when you believe, but there is what, right? The problem there is what? Is that identity needs to be sustained. And how do you sustain that? With validation. So that structure needs validation. And how do you gain validation? By having someone else believe in the same thing, right? By having another person validating your Christian belief, your any other religion. And the best thing there is what? When you can say to someone, to have someone that has another religion, and that they change their religion to come to your religion. Why? Oh, because if they do that, well, my religion must be real. It must be true. Because this is the thing about religion, is that no one really believes in those religions. Oh, they can be orthodox. They can be really in that, right? They can be absolutely saying, I believe in this religion, but they don't. And how can I say that they don't? Because they need validation. And that validation is always external. That validation is always someone that believes the same thing, someone that changes their religion to get the same religion. They always constantly need validation. If you do believe in something, you do not need validation. You simply believe in it. And you do not try to change the belief systems of anyone else. You do not try to have anyone else believe in the same thing as you, because you simply believe. Believing is not trying to change anyone else. But what is everyone doing in a religion? They seek validation. Science is a religion or a cult, whatever, because everyone is trying to what? Validate it. And they are seeking for validation, for proofs. Science needs proof. And it's a religion. As I said, money is a religion. There are so many things that are not linked to religion directly, but that at the end of the day, they are a religion. And all that then goes around what? A structure of power, belief system, power, and all of that. And the thing that I have found very interesting, and that comes back to, right, the power and my belief system and how I relate to that, is that all of that is attraction. So it only exists when I say it exists, right? Energy follows awareness. So any religion, any belief system, any science, anything like that, they exist only when you validate them by putting your energy in that. Because, right, when you do not need those things, where they are not there in your reality in the moment, right? The moment is perfect because the moment is giving you all that you need in that moment. You're having an experience, and all you need for that experience is there, or you wouldn't have the experience, right? So that it's also, right, energy follows awareness. So when I am having those things in my reality, is because I am giving, right, the energy for that. So it's happening. It's there. It's the moment. So it's about power that you put into those things. And when you go into a religion, how do you feel yourself confronted with the dogma, with what the religion says? If the religion tells you, kill your wife or your husband because they are cheating, what are you going to do? If your religion tells you that if your neighbor doesn't have the same belief, same religion as you don't have to talk with them. If your religion tells you that things have to be done in a certain way, are you going to do those things in that certain way? Sundays, you have to go to the cult, to the church. You have to dress in a certain way. Women have to dress in a certain way, etc., etc. Right? How do you do that? And if you don't, what happens? So those things become what? Belief systems. Your belief system, because you accept them, and they're there because you accept them, right? Or they won't be there. But so then what happens when you leave those religions? Do you leave? What about your belief system? Because one thing is the religion, but then that religion has teachings, and once you accept them, they become your belief system. And even though you choose that is not, that religion doesn't fit with you anymore, those belief systems are still there. So you have to go through those things and see how do you relate to those things, right? I was raised as a Catholic in the Catholic Church, and I was even a altar boy, and I experienced that for years, and I realized how that helped building a perception and a belief system in me, and to go through all of that. And you see, as I was listening Ria Remini talking about Scientology and trying to make a difference between Scientology and other, let's say, main religions, and to put them right, create a hierarchy of that, and saying that, I said, yeah, but you see, you're not seeing all that Christianity has done in the name of God, killing hundreds of millions of people in the name of God. And I mean, right? I know, but still, that's the idea, right? So that in the end of the day, I would say, well, there isn't really a difference in those things. It's a structure of power. It remains a structure of power, and depends how you relate to that. The name that you give to that doesn't really matter. It's a religion, right? It's a structure of power. What is my relationship with that structure of power? Do I submit to it? Meaning, do I put that structure of power above me? Or do I realize that that structure of power, whatever it is, again, whatever it is, as long as I see that structure of power above me, I'm submitting to whatever belief system there is there, and accepting it, making it mine, and allow it to govern my life, right? I'm externalizing the structure of power. So I lending, in reality, I'm lending my power, right? I'm not giving reality the waste. It's always mine, but I'm lending it. The moment I stop putting anything above me, then I'll start to see all those belief systems linked to that structure of power. All those identity that I am creating linked to that structure of power. And so I will be in a position where I will be able to see that, to realize the selves, and to kill that self, to let go of it, to stop identifying myself with that structure of power. And again, right, it's here that I want you to come, is to see that whether it's a government, administration, religion, whatever that religion may be, right? As I said, there are things that we do not consider as religions, but actually they are religions because the structure is there. But they become all of that and all of those things. And it doesn't matter, because what we do is that we transform those things into structures of power. And by doing that, we are putting our energy follows awareness. So we are putting our energy in that, but also by doing that, we are putting we are giving our power into that, so that they can be sustained and they can be existing. But then our relationship with that, as long as it's submissive, in the sense that we bow ourselves, we accept it as superior, we are participating in that in a certain way. When we stop doing it, then we realize our own power. We bring ourselves back inside and we realize our own power. Those structure doesn't exist outside of us, they exist inside. We are creating them collectively, yes, but also personally, because we attract them in our reality. So that the relationship with those structures of power, the moment that you realize that you are the one, you are doing it, changes completely. And that is one of the things that I am doing. It's realizing my own power, my own power. Not to submit to anything that I perceive as external, which is not external, right? I am attracting it, I am creating it. And in that, understand, it's there for me to have an experience. That's all that I am having. If that experience is about me submitting to that structure of power, or me using that from my own power, well, that's a choice. That's what I'm saying. I will choose whether that is above me or not. But from the moment that I realize that, I really can choose not to submit, but to center myself in my own power and have the experience from there. And then the experience will be different. I will be different. Cannot be in any other way. Because again, it's a choice. And I choose whether I am being subject or object of reality. when I'm an object, when I'm not in my power, I am exposing myself to whatever wind flows in there. And I will just then be what? A victim of the situation. When I am the subject, well, then I am bringing that back to myself because I say it belongs to me. And so I'm not a victim, but the creator. It's completely different because I position myself in a different way. It's still me having the experience different because I choose a different self. So there you have it. And this stuff, I mean, again, as I say, you don't get these things right like that. You got them. There are still things that I am discovering, and there are things that I know, but then I am still discovering them, right? uh, we never end with our evolution, with our understanding of creation, of the moment, of right, all of those things, discovering new things about time, new things about creation, new things about power, uh, etc., etc. It's evolving all the time, and the wonderful thing about the fact that time is not, I think it's not real. It's that it means that you literally have all the time because you create it, because it's yours. Time, it's a tool, right? So you literally have the eternity, and so you don't have to understand anything right now. You will understand it when you do. That is the right. When people say, "Oh, I have to hurry up. I have no time." Well, no, you have all the time because it belongs to you. All right. Ooh. So, thank you so much for joining in. And well, obviously, right, if you have any questions or if you want to expand of any of these things, well, feel free to contact me, and or anything. I will be very happy to exchange with you. And so again, thank you for joining in and to have this and co-creating this moment. And I will see you in the next. Now I love you, and well, thank you, JP, for joining in, and to and everyone else. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I really, yeah, enjoy this. um and I will be seeing you in the next now. Bye bye.